Hey there, it's Adrienne, and welcome back to Better Days Start Today. In this episode, I'm sharing a reading of an essay I wrote for my Substack called Consumed or Connected. It's about something I think we're all wrestling with: how much of our attention technology gets and whether it's helping us feel more connected or leaving us more consumed. As you listen, I invite you to reflect on your own relationship with your phone, your devices, and where your attention is flowing. Let's get into it. Have you noticed more people talking about going analog? Maybe it's just the algorithms mirroring back what I'm already working on in my own life. As they say, where attention goes, energy flows. So I started contemplating the question, what do I want to pay attention to? Once I figured that out, I asked myself, if my attention isn't directed where I want, what am I actually paying attention to? I found that what I wanted to pay attention to and what I was actually paying attention to were two different things. A classic case of misalignment. I was telling myself one thing mattered while my actions were showing something different. I'm going to take you down the rabbit hole of my technology consumption, and maybe, just maybe, you'll see yourself in at least some of this. An AI influencer that I follow, ChatGPT, started a company to help people go analog. Physical Phones was created to bring back the kind of phones that once sat in nearly every home before the smartphone took over. The house phones connect with cell phones via Bluetooth rather than existing as a separate landline. The calls you don't want to miss will still come through without picking up your cell phone, checking it, and inevitably getting sucked into scrolling. I've seen others talking about installing phone jacks in their house so they can have a landline again, especially for their kids to use. Remember the days of having to have a phone conversation with your family sitting in the same room? Or the absolute joy of getting a cordless phone or a phone in your bedroom? I can actually remember unwrapping a cordless phone at Christmas while in junior high school and how jazzed I was that it was for my bedroom. It's a memory that still makes me smile, but it's one most kids can't relate to since they have a phone that they can take anywhere with them and have probably had it since their preteens. So many people have a love-hate relationship with their phone, myself included. While it keeps us connected to the people we care about, it drains our energy and holds our attention. We've tricked ourselves into believing that we need it every moment of the day. But I think we all know that belief is a fallacy that crumbles under examination. While people are experimenting with unplugging, I've been evaluating how I unplug, how often, and whether my measures are working. Morning walks are a staple of my day, and I walk without any inputs. The phone is on Do Not Disturb, so I can still have it in the event of an emergency. I don't use headphones, listen to music, books, or podcast. It's simply time for me to be outside, notice what's around me, and let my mind wander wherever it needs to go. I feel so much better and clear-headed when I give myself time and space from anyone else's agenda. Much of my writing is done away from the computer. I do my 3 morning pages in my journal, and I have a notebook that I use for creative ideas, poems, and anything else that might pop up throughout the day. I also have focus modes that limit the amount of time I can spend on applications on my phone. If there's a website rather than an app, I'll access it from my computer so it's more of a choice than a reflex. All this to say, I've been deliberate about limiting the time I hold my phone in my hand. No one was more surprised than I when I looked at my screen time over the last few weeks. It was ghastly. I track my screen time separately across devices because my devices have distinct uses. On my computer, I'm working. On my iPad, I'm reading or creating. Because my computer and my iPad serve such specific purposes, I don't worry much about my usage there. But my phone is where I've been delusional. My screen time is up, as in several hours each day. And even worse is the number of times I check my phone. Yikes. Okay, fine. My phone screen time has averaged 4 hours a day with more than 100 pickups. Note that I would love to use the covering eyes embarrassed emoji here. And this is someone that has put measures in place and tries to be a conscious consumer of technology. To be fair, if I subtract the time added to my total screen time by music applications, fitness applications, and podcasts, my screen time is closer to 1.5 to 2 hours. But still, the things I could do or not do within 2 hours are staggering. Clearly, it was time for some soul searching. When I dug into the why behind my numbers, the stories surfaced. Story: I'll miss an important call related to my mom's health if I don't keep my phone close and check it. The truth? We talk every day, and every conversation is left on a high note. Missing a call won't change an outcome related to her health. Story: If I repeatedly check my phone, I'll magically receive the results related to the battery of tests I've undergone over the last few weeks related to my own health concerns. The truth? Continuously checking won't make the results arrive faster, and it will leave me feeling more anxious because my compulsion is keeping the worry at the forefront of my mind. About 6 months ago, I added social media apps back to my phone for my coaching business. I posted more often for a while, but it didn't feel great, so I backed off, though I never deleted the apps. The story: Meta Edits was released, and Meta said if your videos are created and posted using it, you'll get more reach. Since we can't access edits from a desktop, I figured I'd experiment with creating and posting from my phone again. The truth: my reach hasn't changed, and using those apps on my phone has been a complete time and energy drain while reinforcing that I don't love being on social media. The story: Substack feels different because it's mostly long-form content. The truth: when the app is on my phone, I check it as often as other social platforms. I'm also more prone to bypass the application time limit when I'm on Substack, which has become part of the problem. So while it feels different, my behavior is the same. As you can see, I've got plenty of reasons for my increased phone use, but when I write them down, they're all just stories I've constructed, and I can easily see the truth of each of them. The question remains: what am I doing to change this? If I'm going to consume something, I want it to be a conscious choice, not a reflex. But I have to set myself up for success. Relying on intention hasn't worked so great thus far. First, I culled my phone for applications that drain my time. Facebook, Instagram, and Substack will only be accessed from my desktop or laptop when needed, and I'll schedule time to access the platforms. Then, I committed to using my phone as a communication device for fitness tracking and to stream music, podcasts, or audiobooks. Still a long list, and I reserve the right to revisit this in the future. Furthermore, I'm implementing physical separation from my phone when working from home. If I'm in my office, it won't be with me. Though I have my focus setting turned on, I found that I circumvent it, so I'm removing the option to reach out and scroll. I'll have time built into my schedule to check my phone when I take breaks. Elizabeth Gilbert practices no phone Thursdays, keeping her phone in a drawer all day, even when she leaves the house. I love this idea, and am thinking about following suit. I know what it feels like to live untethered because I've lived it before. Many moons ago, when I studied abroad in Australia, cell phones were billed by the minute. It was even more expensive than in the US. I had a standing call with my mom every night from a payphone at the end of my street where I used a phone card. The freedom! I was only in contact with friends and family if I reached out. I remember how liberated I felt for those 6 months, which makes one day per week without a phone extra appealing. Somewhere in the last few months, despite my best intentions, I realized that technology was consuming me rather than me consuming it. I've noticed a difference in how I feel as a result. It's not a choice I'm willing to continue to make. For me, it all comes back to alignment. I want my desires, intentions, and actions to be consistent. I know I'm not alone in this. Our relationship with technology is shaping not just our individual lives, but our communities too. It makes me wonder what could shift if more of us experimented with different ways of unplugging. An invitation for you. Take a few minutes to journal on the questions that sparked this exploration. What do I want to pay attention to? And if my attention isn't directed where I want, what am I actually paying attention to? I'm curious, how's your relationship with your phone and with technology as a whole? Are you doing anything to manage your screen time? What's working or not working for you? Did you have any insights while journaling? I would love to hear your reflections in the comments. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Better Days Start Today. If this sparks something for you, I'd love to hear about it. You can find the full essay on my Substack, adriancrowley.substack.com, and you can always connect with me through my website, adriancrowley.com. Take some time this week to notice. Are your devices serving you, or are you serving them? Even the smallest shift in awareness can bring you back to what really matters. I hope you have an amazing week. Thanks so much for spending time with me on Better Days Start Today. If you loved this episode, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the podcast, and leave a review. It helps more people find this space and start creating their better days too. And hey, don't forget to sign up for my newsletter at adriancrowley.com. You'll get exclusive tips, tools, and access to complimentary events designed to support you every step of the way. Until next time, remember, your better days, they start today.